talk to us about the Civic Bank building.
As you probably know, the Buildings Committee, at one of their last meetings, we presented to them the opportunity to move the offices out of the Churchill City County building into possibly purchasing the old Civic Bank building in Churchill. A little bit of background, Nancy Davis actually was the one that generated the idea, and a lot of folks have been up there to look. Commissioner Kern's been there. I'm gonna leave somebody out if I start naming names, but we've had a couple of commissioners that are deputies that were up there because it would involve the sheriff's department as well. The Buildings Committee asked us to get some clarification from the city of Churchill as to whether or not we could just move out of that building without any consequences. The way it worked was we were responsible for the maintenance and some of the other expenses of the city-county building. Sarah Davis and I went up there and talked to Mayor Deal about the possibility of moving out. He was very receptive and very excited about it because it would give them more space. And back up another step. If we continue to be there are handicap parking places that are not compliant with ADA requirements. They're on slopes, that they're not wide enough, etc. There's no place else to put them other than we'd have to level that off, build a retaining wall at a fairly large expense to get those compliant. It needs a roof, it needs gutters, it needs several $1,000s worth of work. The way Mayor Dill said was if they took it over, they would move the main entrance to downstairs where the flat parking places are and would put in an automatic door there, which would make it ADA compliant, would let them spread out a little bit and would give us some breathing room there too. So he took it to his BMA at a workshop, and the BMA voted that we could move out. What I assume is no responsibility on our part. That was information that the Buildings Committee requested. We really need to take it back to Buildings Committee and give them that answer, but it doesn't require any action on your all's part today. But I wanted you to start thinking about the possibility of purchasing that old Civic Bank building in Churchill and moving our offices into there. It's one of the things I want to talk about at the ARPA funds workshop. That's one of the line items we could possibly get out of that, but I don't want to elaborate on that any further because that's just something that needs to go to the workshop. But that's the information that I have on the city county building and the Civics building in Churchill. It's looking very favorable. It's not a decision I can make, but I just want to present it to you all as it's coming down the road from the Buildings Committee. Anybody have any questions?
Mark, what would happen to the court office,
The courtroom? That's to be determined. We haven't found anything that says we have to have a courtroom in Churchill. We have courtrooms here in Rogersville that they could use. I know that I've talked to several folks about it, and they're in complete agreement. We could move the court to Rogersville. There may be some challenges with that down the road that we'd have to look at. But we originally thought we'd have to expand that building. I don't see that as a necessity, but it will have to be discussed.
All right, if there's no other questions about